Discipline your mind and mood, and watch your dreams become reality. True power comes from controlling your thoughts, emotions, actions, and finances. Master your mouth, and your words will build your future. What if you could speak in a way that inspires others and builds your future? What if you could stay calm and focused, even when life throws challenges your way? Imagine if your money was spent only on things that truly helped you grow, and your mind stayed sharp, always thinking in ways that pushed you toward your goals. In this video, we're going to dive into these 4 powerful areas, how to control them, and why doing so is crucial for creating the life you want. If you're ready to take control and make a real change, keep watching. What you're about to hear could be the difference between where you are now and where you want to be. Now let's dive in. Number 1. Speak only what builds people and your future. Your words have more power than you realize. They don't just affect how people see you. They shape your future. Every time you speak, you're either building something great or tearing something down. That's why it's crucial to speak only what builds people and your future. If you want to live a life of purpose and achievement, your words must reflect that vision. They must empower those around you, encourage growth, and push you toward your goals. Think about the people in your life, family, friends, colleagues. How do your words affect them? Are they motivated and inspired after talking to you, or do they feel discouraged and drained? The way you speak can either lift others up or bring them down. If you speak words that are positive, kind, and constructive, you create an environment of growth. On the other hand, if your words are negative, critical, or discouraging, you'll create an environment of stagnation, frustration, and self-doubt. Your words set the tone for the relationships you build, and they play a direct role in how others view their own potential. But it's not just about what you say to others, it's also about what you say to yourself. Your internal dialogue shapes your belief system, your confidence, and your actions. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, or that you're not capable of achieving your goals, you're building a future that reflects those thoughts. But when you speak words of affirmation, encouragement, and belief to yourself, you begin to shift your mindset. You start to see the possibilities, not the limitations. You start to believe in your own potential, and that belief drives you to take action and move forward. So the first step in building a powerful future with your words is to become aware of what you're saying. Start paying attention to the language you use, both externally and internally. What are the first words that come out of your mouth when you wake up in the morning? Are they words of gratitude, excitement, and possibility? Or are they words of frustration, self-doubt, and negativity? The way you speak at the beginning of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If you start your day with positivity, you're more likely to encounter opportunities and make decisions that move you toward your goals. If you start your day with negativity, you'll be more focused on problems than solutions. The same is true when you speak to others. Are your words encouraging, uplifting, and supportive, or are they critical, judgmental, or dismissive? The way you speak to others not only affects their lives, but it also reflects who you are as a person. When you speak words of encouragement, you create a ripple effect. People feel inspired to take action, believe in themselves, and pursue their own goals. You become a source of positivity and motivation, and that energy comes back to you in ways you can't even imagine. One of the most important things you can do is to speak only what is true, kind, and helpful. If your words aren't contributing to someone's growth or well-being, it's time to reassess whether they should be said at all. When you speak, make sure your words are aligned with your values and your vision for the future. If you want to create a future full of success, happiness, and fulfillment, your words need to reflect those things. Speak about the possibilities, not the limitations. Speak about the solutions, not the problems. Speak about the opportunities, not the obstacles. Your words should inspire and empower both you and those around you. Another key aspect of speaking what builds people and your future is to be intentional with your words. Don't just speak mindlessly or out of habit. Be thoughtful about the impact your words will have. Whether you're having a conversation with a colleague, a friend, or a loved one, choose your words carefully. Ask yourself, will this comment help or hurt this person? Will it encourage them to grow, or will it make them feel small? The more intentional you are with your words, the more positive influence you'll have on those around you. Speaking only what builds people and your future also means avoiding gossip, negativity, and criticism. There's a time and place for constructive feedback, but too often, we engage in conversations that are filled with negativity, judgment, and gossip. These kinds of conversations don't build anyone up, they only tear down. When you engage in negative talk, you not only hurt others, but you also harm your own energy and mindset. Instead of wasting time on gossip, focus on conversations that are productive, inspiring, and solution-oriented. Challenge yourself to speak in a way that uplifts others, even when things aren't going well. Your ability to remain positive and forward-thinking, even in difficult situations, will set you apart and build a future filled with success. Your words also play a huge role in your ability to influence others. If you want to become a leader, whether at work, in your community, or in your family, your words will be one of your most powerful tools. Leadership isn't about telling people what to do. It's about inspiring and motivating them to become the best version of themselves. Great leaders speak words that instill confidence, trust, and hope. They use their words to guide people toward their potential and help them navigate challenges. When you speak with integrity, clarity, and purpose, you create an environment where people feel empowered to step up and do their best. Speaking only what builds people and your future also means taking responsibility for your words. If you've said something hurtful or negative, own up to it and make things right. Apologize if necessary, and commit to being more mindful in the future. Remember, words are powerful, they can heal or they can hurt. The more conscious you are of how you use them, the more you'll contribute to building a positive future for yourself and everyone around you. One of the most impactful ways to use your words is through affirmations. These are powerful statements that you say to yourself to reinforce positive beliefs and behaviors. By consistently repeating affirmations, you begin to reprogram your subconscious mind, helping you move closer to your goals. The words you speak to yourself each day shape the way you see yourself and the possibilities you believe are available to you. Choose affirmations that support your vision for the future, such as I am capable, I am worthy of success, and I am always growing and improving. Finally, understand that the impact of your words extends far beyond just the present moment. The words you speak today will ripple out into your future. They will affect the opportunities you create, the relationships you build, and the person you become. Every word you speak is a building block for your future. So speak with intention, speak with kindness, speak with integrity, and speak with the belief that your words have the power to create a life that you love. The more you speak what builds people and your future, the more your life will reflect those positive outcomes. Your words are a reflection of who you are and what you believe is possible. When you choose to speak only what builds others and your future, you align your language with your highest aspirations. And in doing so, you create a powerful foundation for a life filled with success, growth, and fulfillment. The future you want is built on the words you choose today. Choose them wisely. Number 2. Choose silence. When anger tries to speak first. Anger is a powerful emotion, but it doesn't have to control you. The key to mastering anger is to choose silence when it first arises. When we react impulsively in anger, we often say things we later regret. We hurt others, we harm ourselves, and we lose the chance to resolve a situation calmly and thoughtfully. But when we choose silence in the face of anger, we gain control over our emotions, our reactions, and our relationships. The first step in choosing silence when anger tries to speak first is to recognize when anger is building within you. It's often subtle at first. Maybe it's a tightness in your chest, a heat rising in your face, or a feeling of frustration starting to grow. When you feel anger bubbling up, pause. Don't react immediately. Give yourself a moment to assess the situation and decide how you want to respond. It's in this moment of pause that you have the power to change everything. Anger is often fueled by a sense of injustice, frustration, or fear. It's an emotional reaction to something that feels wrong or unfair. But before you speak or act, it's important to understand that not everything that triggers your anger needs a response. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. Choosing silence in these moments gives you the space to think clearly, to separate yourself from the emotion, and to avoid making a decision you'll regret later. When you allow anger to take the lead in a conversation, you give up your power. You become reactive rather than proactive. You let the emotion dictate your actions and words instead of taking control of the situation with calmness and clarity. Choosing silence doesn't mean ignoring the issue. It means taking a step back so that you can address it with a clear and level-headed approach. When you choose silence, you give yourself the opportunity to think before you speak, and to respond in a way that's thoughtful, measured, and productive. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to let words fly out of your mouth in anger, but remember, words are powerful. Once they are said, they can never be taken back. You can apologize for them, but the damage might still linger. If you speak when you're angry, you may regret what you say and harm your relationships with others. On the other hand, when you choose silence, you avoid saying something in the heat of the moment that could cause irreversible harm. You maintain your dignity and your self-respect, and you give yourself the chance to cool down and think before addressing the situation. Choosing silence when anger tries to speak first is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending that everything is fine. It's about creating space for emotional regulation. Anger, like any emotion, is natural, but it needs to be processed in a healthy way. By choosing silence, you allow yourself the time to calm down and think about the best course of action. You allow your emotions to settle so that you can respond with clarity, rather than reacting impulsively. One of the most powerful benefits of choosing silence is that it gives you the power to listen. When you are angry, it's easy to become defensive and focus only on what you want to say. You might feel like you need to get your point across or defend yourself. But when you choose silence, you stop and listen. You listen to the other person's perspective, and you allow them the space to express their thoughts. By listening, you create the opportunity for understanding and resolution. You open the door for a more meaningful conversation, and you increase the chances of finding a solution that works for both parties. Silence also gives you the opportunity to regain your composure and manage your emotions. Sometimes, anger arises because we feel hurt, disrespected, or misunderstood. When we choose silence, we create the distance needed to process those emotions without being swept away by them. Silence allows you to identify the underlying cause of your anger, whether it's a specific situation, a miscommunication, or something else, and to approach it with a clearer mind. Instead of reacting from a place of hurt or frustration, you respond from a place of emotional maturity and strength. In choosing silence, you demonstrate emotional intelligence. It takes self-discipline and wisdom to pause when emotions are high. People around you will notice your ability to stay calm and composed, and they will respect you for it. Choosing silence shows that you are in control of your emotions, not the other way around. It demonstrates that you can handle difficult situations with grace and maturity. And when you choose silence in moments of anger, you set a powerful example for others to follow. Your ability to remain calm will encourage others to do the same. It's also important to recognize that silence is not passive. It's an active choice to take control of your emotional response. Choosing silence means taking a step back and allowing yourself to reflect on the situation before you respond. It means giving yourself permission to not have an immediate answer or reaction. It means understanding that some things are better left unsaid in the heat of the moment, and can be addressed more effectively after you've had time to think. The habit of choosing silence in the face of anger can transform your life in profound ways. It can improve your relationships, reduce stress, and create a sense of inner peace. By taking the time to process your emotions, you make better decisions, communicate more effectively, and avoid unnecessary conflict. Instead of being driven by anger, you become the master of your emotions, and you control how you respond to the challenges that life throws at you. Silence, when chosen wisely, can be a powerful tool for growth and self-improvement. It allows you to step outside the immediate emotional reaction and make decisions that are in alignment with your values and goals. It provides the clarity you need to navigate difficult situations with wisdom and purpose. And it empowers you to handle anger in a way that brings out the best in you rather than the worst. Choosing silence when anger tries to speak first is a practice. It takes time, patience, and commitment to make it a habit. But as you make this choice more often, you'll notice a shift in how you handle difficult situations. You'll find that you are less reactive, more thoughtful, and more in control of your emotions. you'll discover that silence isn't weakness, it's strength. It's a sign of emotional maturity and resilience. And most importantly, it's a choice that will create a more peaceful and fulfilling life. The next time anger rises within you, remember, choose silence. Take a deep breath, step back, and give yourself the space you need to respond with clarity, understanding, and strength. In doing so, you'll not only preserve your relationships, but you'll also build a future of emotional intelligence and inner peace. The power to control your anger is in your hands, and it starts with the simple but profound choice of silence. Number 3, guard your words like they shape your reality. Your words have an incredible power to shape your reality. Everything that you speak has the potential to either build or destroy the life you want to live. Every word that leaves your mouth is a declaration to the world and to yourself about who you are and what you believe is possible. If you truly understand this, you will guard your words as one of the most valuable assets in your life. We live in a world where people speak without thinking, using words carelessly and allowing negative thoughts and emotions to dictate their speech. But the truth is, words are not just fleeting sounds. They are seeds. The words you speak today are the thoughts you will think tomorrow. The beliefs you hold today are the actions you will take tomorrow. The outcomes of your life are shaped by the words you repeat over time. When you speak negative words about yourself or your circumstances, you are creating a future that mirrors those beliefs. If you tell yourself, "I can't do this, I'll never succeed, or this will never work," then you are in essence casting your own limitations. These words reinforce a mindset that makes success harder to achieve and brings a sense of defeat. Your words create the reality that you experience. They set the tone for how you think, how you act, and what you believe is possible. Conversely, when you choose words of positivity, encouragement, and self-belief, you create a foundation for success and growth. When you say things like, "I can do this," "I am capable of achieving great things," "This is just a challenge that I can overcome," you are programming yourself for success. Your words have a way of shifting your perspective, even in difficult times. They help you stay focused on solutions rather than problems, and they keep you moving toward your goals with confidence and determination. It's not just about speaking positively about yourself, it's about speaking positively about others too. The words you use when you talk about other people have a direct impact on your relationships and your interactions. If you speak critically or judgmentally about others, you're contributing to an environment of negativity. But when you speak words of kindness, encouragement, and understanding, you help build strong, supportive relationships that benefit everyone involved. Your words can either tear people down or lift them up, and when you choose to lift others, you elevate your own life as well. Guarding your words also means being mindful of the language you use in challenging situations. When things aren't going the way you want them to, it's easy to slip into complaining, blaming, or negative self-talk. But this is exactly when you need to be most careful with your words. Complaining about your situation or blaming others for your problems only reinforces a sense of powerlessness and keeps you stuck in a cycle of negativity. Instead of focusing on the problem, focus on solutions and what you can do to improve the situation. Speak in terms of what's possible and what action you can take. This shift in language will help you regain control over your circumstances and put you back on the path toward success. Your words not only shape the way you see the world, but they also shape the way the world sees you. People are constantly listening to what you say, and your words tell them what you value, what you believe, and what you're capable of. If you speak with confidence, clarity, and integrity, people will take notice. They will see you as someone who is capable, trustworthy, and committed to growth. But if your words are filled with doubt, uncertainty, and negativity, others may begin to doubt your abilities and potential as well. In a sense, your words become a reflection of who you are and how you are perceived by others. One of the most powerful ways to guard your words is through intentionality. Start by being mindful of the words you speak. Pay attention to the language you use in everyday conversations, whether you're talking to a friend, a colleague, or even yourself. Ask yourself if your words are empowering you or limiting you. Are they helping you create the future you want, or are they reinforcing the barriers that hold you back? Another way to guard your words is to practice positive affirmations. These are powerful positive statements that you repeat to yourself daily to reprogram your mind and shift your focus. Affirmations help you replace negative self-talk with empowering beliefs that align with the life you want to create. For example, instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," say, "I am worthy of success and happiness." Instead of thinking, "This will never work," say, "I am capable of overcoming any obstacle." By consistently repeating positive affirmations, you reinforce the belief that you can achieve your goals and create the life you desire. It's also important to surround yourself with people who use words that uplift and inspire. The language of the people around you will have a profound impact on your own speech and mindset. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, complaining, or limiting beliefs, it will be much harder to stay positive and focused on your goals. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who speak words of encouragement, empowerment, and possibility, you will find it easier to stay motivated and driven. The people you spend time with will either elevate you or pull you down, so choose your words and your company wisely. Guarding your words also means taking responsibility for the impact of your speech. If you say something hurtful or negative, own up to it and make amends. A simple apology can go a long way in mending relationships and rebuilding trust. When you take responsibility for your words, you show maturity, integrity, and a willingness to grow. This is an important part of guarding your words, not just by choosing the right words to speak, but by acknowledging when your words have fallen short and making things right. Finally, understand that the language you use affects not only your thoughts and relationships, but also your actions. Your words have the ability to motivate or discourage you. When you speak in a way that aligns with your goals, you are more likely to take the actions necessary to achieve them. On the other hand, when you speak negatively or self-critically, you undermine your own motivation and create obstacles in your path. Your words don't just reflect your current reality, they actively shape your future. If you want to create a future of success, growth, and fulfillment, your words must align with that vision. So guard your words like they shape your reality, because they do. They hold the power to create the life you want or keep you stuck in a life of limitations. Be intentional with the words you speak to yourself and others. Use words that empower, inspire, and move you closer to your goals. Surround yourself with people who speak the language of possibility, and choose words that reflect your highest potential. Your words are more than just a means of communication, they are the building blocks of your reality. Choose them wisely, speak them intentionally, and watch as they transform your life. Number 4. Train your mood to follow your discipline daily. The connection between mood and discipline is one of the most crucial aspects of achieving long-term success. It's easy to think that our mood should dictate our actions. That when we feel good, we will work hard, and when we feel down, we can rest or procrastinate. But the truth is, your mood is not in control of your actions unless you allow it to be. If you train your mood to follow your discipline, you create a powerful habit that will push you toward your goals, even on the days when you don't feel like doing the work. Our moods are often unpredictable. One moment we might feel energized, confident, and motivated, and the next moment we could be filled with doubt, frustration, or fatigue. If we let our mood dictate our actions, we are constantly at the mercy of how we feel in the moment. This makes it incredibly difficult to stay consistent. And consistency is one of the most important factors in building long-term success. That's why discipline must come first, and our mood must follow. Training your mood to follow your discipline starts with the understanding that actions come before feelings. Too often we wait for the right mood before we take action. We tell ourselves, "I'll work on my goals when I feel more motivated," or "I'll exercise when I'm in a better mood." But waiting for motivation or a positive mood is like waiting for the perfect conditions. The perfect conditions rarely come. Instead, it's your discipline that creates the conditions for success, and your mood will catch up with your actions over time. Discipline is the ability to continue doing what you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's not about waiting for the right mood to strike. It's about creating a routine, a structure, and a commitment to your goals that doesn't depend on how you feel in any given moment. When you commit to daily discipline, your mood will begin to align with the actions you take, and over time, it will become easier to stay focused and productive, regardless of the mood you're in. One of the most effective ways to train your mood to follow your discipline is to establish a routine. When you build consistent habits, you remove the need for motivation and emotion to guide your actions. A routine is a system that dictates what you do and when you do it, without leaving room for indecision or procrastination. By setting clear and consistent expectations for yourself, you take the guesswork out of your day. You no longer have to rely on mood swings or emotions to decide whether or not to take action. Instead, your routine becomes the guide that keeps you on track. For example, if you make a habit of waking up early every day to work on your most important tasks, you are practicing discipline, not waiting for inspiration or motivation to strike. Even if you wake up feeling tired or unmotivated, the discipline to stick to your routine overrides your mood. And as you continue to follow through with your routine, your mood will begin to shift in response to your actions. Over time, you will notice that it's easier to get up early and get to work, and your mood will be more in alignment with your actions. Another powerful way to train your mood to follow your discipline is to set small, achievable goals each day. Discipline doesn't always mean taking massive action or making dramatic changes. It often starts with small, consistent steps that add up over time. Setting goals that are specific, measurable, and achievable allows you to focus on progress rather than perfection. This also gives you a sense of accomplishment, which can positively influence your mood. When you accomplish something, even a small task, your brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter that makes you feel good. This positive feedback loop reinforces your discipline and helps train your mood to align with your actions. For instance, if you want to improve your health, setting a daily goal to walk for 20 minutes every day can help you build the discipline of regular exercise. Even if you're not in the mood to exercise, knowing that you've set a small, manageable goal gives you the push you need to take action. Once you complete that task, you'll feel a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment, which can improve your mood and make it easier to stick with your routine in the future. Your environment also plays a huge role in how well your mood follows your discipline. The spaces you spend time in, the people you surround yourself with, and the habits you allow to become part of your daily life all influence your ability to stay disciplined and focused. If your environment is chaotic, disorganized, or distracting, it will be much harder to stick to your daily routine and maintain discipline. On the other hand, a supportive and structured environment can make it easier to stay disciplined even when your mood isn't ideal. Start by creating an environment that supports your goals. If you want to be more productive, eliminate distractions from your workspace. If you want to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nutritious foods and remove unhealthy snacks. If you want to exercise regularly, lay out your workout clothes the night before so that you are ready to go in the morning. The more you set yourself up for success, the less you have to rely on your mood to take action. Your environment should reinforce the habits and behaviors you want to develop, making it easier for your mood to follow your discipline. It's also important to recognize that your emotions are not permanent. They can change from moment to moment, and they are influenced by the actions you take. If you wake up feeling tired or discouraged, that doesn't mean your whole day will be like that. By taking action, by sticking to your discipline, you can change your emotional state. For example, if you start your day with exercise, even if you don't feel like it, you'll often find that you feel better afterward. Your energy levels increase, your mood improves, and you're able to carry that positive energy throughout the rest of the day. One of the most powerful aspects of training your mood to follow your discipline is the sense of empowerment that comes from it. When you commit to doing the work every day, regardless of how you feel, you gain confidence in your ability to achieve your goals. You prove to yourself that your emotions don't have to control your actions, that you have the strength and determination to take consistent action, no matter what. This builds mental toughness and resilience, qualities that are essential for long-term success. The key is to remember that your discipline is what keeps you on track, not your mood. Your mood is fleeting, but your discipline is something you can count on every day. If you build the discipline to stick to your commitments, your mood will naturally follow. Over time, you'll find that it becomes easier to stay focused, to get to work, and to achieve your goals, no matter how you feel. You'll stop waiting for motivation to strike and start relying on your own ability to take action. And in doing so, you will unlock the power to create the life you've always dreamed of.
Number 5. Hold your emotions until your mind becomes calm. Emotions are powerful. They can dictate how we act, how we respond to others, and how we view the world.
But if we don't learn how to manage them, emotions can rule our lives, often in destructive ways. In moments of intense emotion, whether it's anger, frustration, or sadness, it's easy to let our feelings take the wheel. We lash out, make decisions we later regret, or let negative feelings control our actions. But when we learn to hold our emotions until our minds become calm, we take back the power to respond in a way that aligns with our values, not our impulses. Learning to hold our emotions doesn't mean suppressing them or pretending they don't exist. It means recognizing when our emotions are starting to take over and taking a moment to pause. Instead of reacting immediately, we create a space where we can regain control of our thoughts and actions. This pause is powerful. In that moment of calm, we can make better decisions, choose words that build rather than destroy, and take actions that align with the person we truly want to be. Emotions, when left unchecked, can cloud our judgment. When we're angry, for example, our thoughts become clouded by rage. Our hearts beat faster, our faces flush, and we might feel a surge of adrenaline that urges us to act right away. But in those moments, acting on those emotions can lead to regret. You've probably had times when, in a moment of frustration or anger, you've said something hurtful or made a decision that later seemed irrational. We've all been there. But when we take the time to hold our emotions and wait until our minds calm, we gain clarity. We can choose the right words, make thoughtful decisions, and avoid the regret that often comes from acting impulsively. The first step in holding your emotions is recognizing when they begin to take hold. This isn't always easy, especially when the emotion is strong, but it's crucial. It's important to notice the signs. Your heart rate increases, your body feels tense, and your thoughts start racing. These are the moments when your emotions are taking over. Instead of reacting immediately, choose to take a step back. This doesn't mean you ignore what you're feeling. It simply means you give yourself a moment to collect your thoughts and regain control. One simple yet powerful technique for holding your emotions is deep breathing. When you feel yourself becoming overwhelmed, take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, hold for a few seconds, and exhale. This simple act helps reset your nervous system. It brings you back into the present moment and gives your mind the chance to reset. With each breath, you create a brief moment of space between the emotion you're feeling and your reaction to it. That pause is all you need to regain control. Another strategy for holding your emotions is to count to 10. This is a simple technique that many of us have heard before, but it's effective. Counting gives your mind something to focus on besides the overwhelming emotion. It forces you to slow down, take a break, and create a moment of stillness. This stillness allows you to let your emotional intensity subside, giving you the time to think more clearly. By the time you finish counting, you'll often find that your emotions have calmed down enough for you to make a more rational, thoughtful response. When you hold your emotions, you're not denying yourself the right to feel. Emotions are a natural part of being human. They give us valuable information about our environment and our relationships. However, when we allow our emotions to dictate our actions, we often make decisions that don't reflect who we want to be. We might say things we don't mean, take actions we regret, or shut ourselves off from others because we've allowed our feelings to take control. Instead, holding your emotions allows you to feel your feelings without letting them control you. It's like giving yourself the space to experience the emotion fully without being carried away by it. When you do this, you empower yourself to make conscious choices, respond in a way that aligns with your values, and protect your relationships. There's a great deal of power in emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize and manage our emotions. When we hold our emotions and wait for our minds to calm, we practice this emotional intelligence. We don't let our emotions run wild. We understand them, we acknowledge them, but we don't let them make decisions for us. Instead, we take responsibility for how we respond. This ability to control our reactions is what separates those who are driven by their emotions from those who lead with their minds and make choices that move them closer to their goals. A significant part of holding your emotions is learning how to shift your mindset. When we're in a negative emotional state, it's easy to let our thoughts spiral. We can get stuck in a cycle of negative thinking, which only intensifies the emotions we're feeling. But when we step back and take control of our thoughts, we can shift our focus. Instead of ruminating on what's bothering us, we can refocus our attention on something positive or productive. This shift in mindset helps break the cycle of negative emotions and allows us to respond with a clearer, calmer perspective. In difficult situations, it can be helpful to remind yourself that you have the power to choose your response. No matter how intense the emotion is, you always have the ability to choose how you react. This mindset empowers you to act with intention, not impulse. It's about taking ownership of your emotions and using them to drive you toward a solution, rather than allowing them to drag you into a reaction you'll later regret. Another aspect of holding your emotions is knowing when it's time to walk away. If you find yourself in a situation where your emotions are too intense to control, it's okay to step away. You don't have to stay in a conversation or situation that is overwhelming you. Taking a break, giving yourself space and returning when you're calm can be incredibly powerful. It gives you the time to cool off, collect your thoughts, and return to the situation with a clearer mind and a better approach. This is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It shows that you are committed to responding thoughtfully, not reacting impulsively. When you hold your emotions until your mind becomes calm, you take control of your future. You prevent yourself from making hasty decisions that could negatively impact your relationships, your work, and your well-being. You protect your peace of mind and set yourself up for more constructive, intentional actions. With practice, this ability to hold your emotions becomes a powerful tool that helps you navigate life with greater clarity, composure, and confidence. This approach to managing your emotions is a daily practice. It's not something that happens overnight, but the more you use these techniques, the more natural it will become. Over time, you'll find that you can handle difficult situations with a level of calm and thoughtfulness that will serve you well in all areas of your life.
Number 6. Spend money only on what grows your life. Money is a powerful tool, but how we use it often defines the quality of our lives. Each time we spend, we're making a choice about what we value. Are we investing in things that bring lasting growth? Or are we spending in ways that may offer temporary satisfaction, but no long-term benefit? This is a crucial question, because the way we handle our finances can either propel us forward or keep us stuck in a cycle that limits our potential. Spending money only on what grows your life is a decision that brings you closer to your goals and values, shaping your future in powerful ways. To begin with, think about what you truly want from life. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of spending for enjoyment or for comfort, but there's a difference between temporary pleasure and lasting fulfillment. Money should be spent in ways that lead to personal development, education, health, relationships, and experiences that challenge and expand your boundaries. If your spending aligns with your growth, every dollar you invest will help you build a stronger foundation for your future. When you focus your spending on things that add value to your life, you're not just purchasing products or services, you're investing in your own potential. This could be investing in learning new skills, acquiring knowledge, or attending seminars that stretch your thinking. The goal is to spend money on things that elevate your life's trajectory, not distract you from it. Buying a new gadget or an item of clothing may bring short-term joy, but investing in books, courses, or experiences that push you to grow is an investment that pays off in ways you can't always see immediately, but that compound over time. Investing in personal development is one of the best ways to spend money. Think about how much more valuable you become when you grow as a person. Learning new skills, expanding your knowledge, and developing your mindset have a lasting impact that enriches every area of your life. Whether it's through reading, workshops, or coaching, every dollar spent on your growth opens new doors and opportunities. It might take time before you start seeing the return, but rest assured, personal development is an investment that will never fail you. It is money spent on the most valuable asset you have, yourself. Another area where spending money can grow your life is in your health and well-being. Physical and mental health are fundamental to achieving any long-term success. Without good health, nothing else matters. Investing in nutritious food, regular exercise, and mental wellness practices, like meditation or therapy, is not a luxury, it's a necessity. When you take care of your body and mind, you are setting yourself up to live at your highest potential. Investing in your health allows you to show up every day with energy, focus, and the ability to tackle whatever challenges come your way. The value of good health is immeasurable, and spending money to maintain and improve it is one of the smartest investments you can make. Relationships are another powerful area to focus your spending on. The people you surround yourself with have a direct influence on the direction your life takes. Investing in relationships that nurture and support your growth is crucial. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, attending networking events, or supporting mentors and peers who help you grow, every dollar spent here enriches your life in ways that you cannot measure in monetary terms. Building strong, positive relationships can open doors to new opportunities, provide support when things get tough, and bring more fulfillment to your life. Experiences that challenge your thinking and broaden your horizons are also worth spending on. Traveling to new places, meeting new people, and stepping outside your comfort zone are experiences that foster growth. These experiences teach you things that no textbook or course could. They give you a fresh perspective, build resilience, and encourage you to think in new ways. You may not have thought of travel or adventure as an investment, but it truly is. These moments of growth are priceless and far more valuable than any temporary purchase. Every time you invest in experiences that push you to grow, you expand your potential in ways you can't always anticipate. Of course, there will be times when spending money on things for comfort is necessary, but these expenses should never outnumber the investments you make in your growth. Take a good look at where your money is going, and ask yourself if the purchases you're making are truly contributing to your long-term goals. Are you buying things that only satisfy momentary desires, or are you investing in something that will contribute to your life's growth in the future? If you find that your spending habits aren't aligned with your values, it's time to make changes. One powerful shift is to start budgeting for growth. Allocate a portion of your income specifically for personal development, health, and meaningful relationships. When you prioritize these areas, your life begins to transform. You'll feel more fulfilled, more energized, and more focused on what truly matters. This doesn't mean that you have to give up fun or enjoy the luxuries life has to offer. It simply means that the way you spend reflects what you want to build in the future. By making growth a priority, you make the decisions that will set you up for success. There's also the aspect of spending money on your environment. Surrounding yourself with a space that fosters growth can have a huge impact on your mental and emotional state. Whether it's creating a workspace that inspires creativity, investing in tools that help you be more productive, or creating a home environment that supports your well-being, how you spend in this area is vital. A positive and conducive environment will support your mindset and help you stay focused on your goals. Investing in things that grow your life also involves discipline and foresight. It's about making intentional decisions based on what aligns with your long-term vision, not what is simply easy or immediately gratifying. Many people spend without thinking about the future, but when you make your spending decisions with growth in mind, your future self will thank you. The money you spend today has the power to shape the life you will live tomorrow. So make sure that every dollar is spent in a way that adds value, not only to your present self, but to the person you are becoming. We often hear that money is energy. It moves and flows, and it can work for you or against you. When you spend money on things that nurture your growth, whether it's in education, health, relationships, or experiences, you are harnessing that energy in ways that align with your values and your future. Every decision to invest in yourself, every choice to spend wisely, creates a positive ripple effect that impacts not just your life, but the lives of those around you. It's important to understand that growth doesn't happen by accident. It's a choice, and how you spend your money plays a big role in that choice. When you consciously decide to only spend on what grows your life, you are taking control of your destiny. You're choosing a path that leads to a fulfilling, purposeful life. Make sure your money is working for you, investing in the areas that matter most, and supporting the future you're creating.
Number 7. Save consistently before you ever think of spending. Saving consistently before you ever think of spending is one of the most crucial habits you can develop. It's not just about putting money away for a rainy day. It's about building a foundation that will support your dreams, your security, and your future. So many people live paycheck to paycheck, constantly worrying about their bills. But those who understand the power of saving consistently are laying the groundwork for a prosperous life.
This habit doesn't just build wealth, it builds discipline, foresight, and peace of mind. We live in a world that's constantly pushing us to spend, advertisements, promotions, sales, and social pressures. Everywhere you turn, there's something urging you to buy. It's easy to get caught up in the trap of immediate gratification, but if you want to create long-term wealth and stability, you must learn to flip the script and put saving first. Before you make any purchase, you need to think about your future, and that starts with making saving a priority. Saving isn't just about setting aside money for an emergency. It's about building your financial future. When you save consistently, you're telling your future self that you value stability, growth, and security more than fleeting pleasures. You're investing in the life you want to live, rather than just satisfying your immediate desires. The idea of saving consistently requires discipline. It's not glamorous, it's not immediate, but the benefits are powerful. When you consistently put money away before you think of spending, you set up a pattern that will serve you well over the course of your life. It's about making a conscious decision to invest in your future, regardless of what's going on in the present moment. Every time you make a purchase, you're exchanging your time and energy for something. But when you save, you're putting that energy aside for something bigger down the road. It's not about denying yourself. It's about giving yourself the opportunity to build a future that's not reliant on the whims of the moment. Saving consistently forces you to look beyond today's desires and think about tomorrow's opportunities. Consider the simple truth. Most people don't have savings because they prioritize spending over saving. They pay their bills, they buy what they want, and whatever's left over might go into savings. But that's not how wealth is built. If you wait until you have extra money to save, you're setting yourself up for failure. The key to wealth isn't waiting until there's something left over. It's deciding to save first and then managing your expenses around that. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy life. It doesn't mean you can't buy things you love or treat yourself once in a while. It simply means that you prioritize your future first. Before you think about spending money on the latest gadget, vacation, or luxury, you think about your savings. You set aside a portion of your income for your future goals, your long-term security, and your investments. Saving consistently is a mindset shift. It's about making saving a habit, a non-negotiable part of your financial life. Instead of making saving an afterthought, you make it the first thing you do when you receive money. It's about developing the discipline to delay gratification. You understand that by saving now, you're building something much bigger than what you can purchase in the moment. The power of saving consistently goes beyond just the money you set aside. It's about creating a sense of security. When you have money saved up, you have the freedom to make decisions from a place of power. You're not living paycheck to paycheck, constantly stressed about how to make ends meet. You have options. You have a buffer. And that buffer gives you peace of mind. But saving isn't just about building financial security. It's about giving yourself the freedom to pursue your dreams. When you save consistently, you open the door to future opportunities. Maybe you want to start a business, buy a home, travel the world, or retire early. Saving is the vehicle that will get you there. It gives you the flexibility to pursue your passions without being tied to the constraints of living paycheck to paycheck. Saving consistently also helps you develop a healthy relationship with money. It teaches you the difference between what you need and what you want. When you prioritize saving, you become more intentional with how you spend. You start to think before you buy. You evaluate whether something aligns with your goals, your values, and your future. Saving consistently forces you to make decisions from a place of clarity rather than impulse. One of the most effective strategies for saving is automating it. Set up automatic transfers into your savings account as soon as you receive income. Pay yourself first, before you pay anyone else. By doing this, you remove the temptation to spend that money, because it's already been allocated to your future. This simple step takes the decision-making out of the process and ensures that saving becomes a priority rather than an afterthought. It's also important to remember that saving consistently doesn't mean you need to save large amounts right away. Start small. Even if it's just a small percentage of your income, the important thing is to make it a consistent habit. Over time, you'll be amazed at how those small contributions add up. Consistency is the key. The more consistently you save, the more comfortable you'll become with the process, and the easier it will be to grow your savings. A common objection people have to saving is that they don't have enough money to save. They feel like their income is stretched too thin to put anything away. But this is precisely the moment when saving becomes even more crucial. If you can't save when you have little, you'll struggle to save when you have more. The habit of saving is not dependent on how much you have. It's about making it a priority. Even if it's a small amount, saving consistently trains your mind to think long-term and sets the foundation for building wealth. Remember that saving is not just about the money, it's about your mindset. It's about developing the discipline to put your future first, to make choices based on your long-term well-being, rather than short-term impulses. It's about building a foundation of security, freedom, and opportunity. When you save consistently, you're telling your future self, I believe in my future. I believe in my ability to create something better for myself and those I love. You're telling yourself that no matter what happens today, you are preparing for a better tomorrow. And that is the kind of mindset that leads to lasting success and fulfillment. It's not always easy. There will be times when you want to spend. There will be temptations and distractions. But if you commit to saving consistently before you think of spending, you will create a life that's built on a strong foundation, not on the instability of immediate gratification. And that foundation will support your dreams, your peace of mind, and your future success. Save first, and the rest will follow. By making this simple decision, you are setting yourself up for a life of abundance and security.
Number 8. Direct your thoughts to serve your best self. Directing your thoughts to serve your best self is one of the most powerful actions you can take for your life. We often underestimate the power of our thoughts and how much they shape who we become. Every moment, you are choosing what to focus on, and that focus can either lift you to new heights or keep you stuck where you are. The quality of your thoughts directly influences the quality of your life. If you want to live a life of success, peace, and fulfillment, you must train yourself to direct your thoughts toward the person you aspire to be. Your thoughts are like seeds planted in your mind. What you choose to focus on grows. If you focus on fear, doubt, and negativity, that's what you'll cultivate. If you focus on possibility, opportunity, and personal growth, that's what will flourish in your life. The power is in your hands. Every thought is a choice. And when you learn to direct your thoughts in a way that serves your best self, everything in your life begins to change. One of the biggest challenges people face is their tendency to dwell on negative thoughts. It's easy to get caught up in the problems, the setbacks, and the things that aren't working. It's easy to let your mind wander to places of self-doubt, insecurity, and worry. But this kind of thinking doesn't serve you. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of negativity that prevents you from moving forward. To create the life you want, you must shift your focus from the problems to the solutions, from what's missing to what's possible. It's not about pretending that challenges don't exist or ignoring the difficulties in your life. It's about choosing to direct your thoughts toward solutions, growth, and opportunities. Every time a negative thought pops up, you have the power to choose a different direction. Instead of thinking about what's not going right, think about what you can do to make it better. Instead of focusing on your limitations, focus on your strengths and potential. This is where your discipline comes in. You must learn to control your thoughts just like you control your actions. Your thoughts can either work for you or against you, but they are always under your control. It's about taking responsibility for your mental environment. Instead of letting your thoughts run wild, you become the master of them. You decide where your mind will go and what it will focus on. When you direct your thoughts to serve your best self, you're choosing to build a mindset that supports your success, your happiness, and your fulfillment. One of the most effective ways to direct your thoughts is through intentional focus. Instead of letting your mind wander aimlessly, make a conscious effort to focus on things that uplift you. Focus on the positive aspects of your life, on the progress you've made, on the opportunities ahead. When you shift your focus to what's working, you naturally attract more of the same. The more you focus on your best self, the more that version of you becomes your reality. Another powerful tool for directing your thoughts is gratitude.
Gratitude has the incredible ability to shift your focus from lack to abundance. When you direct your thoughts toward gratitude, you immediately begin to see the blessings in your life. No matter what challenges you may be facing, there is always something to be grateful for. By practicing gratitude daily, you retrain your mind to focus on the positives, not the negatives. This simple act of gratitude opens the door to greater joy, fulfillment, and growth. It helps you stay grounded in the present moment, focused on what truly matters. Visualization is another powerful practice for directing your thoughts. When you visualize yourself as your best self, you activate the power of your imagination and the law of attraction. Take a moment each day to picture yourself living the life you want. See yourself achieving your goals, feeling confident, happy, and fulfilled. This practice trains your mind to believe that your best self is possible, and it encourages you to take the actions necessary to make that vision a reality. When you direct your thoughts toward your ideal future, you begin to move in that direction. It's also important to surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with, the media you consume, and the environment you create all play a role in shaping your thoughts. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, criticism, and doubt, it's much harder to direct your thoughts in a positive direction. But if you surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you to grow, and who believe in your potential, it's much easier to keep your thoughts focused on your best self. Pay attention to the inputs in your life, and be intentional about choosing those that align with your highest vision. One of the most empowering things you can do is take control of your self-talk. We all have an inner dialogue, the voice in our head that either encourages or discourages us. Often this voice is not our friend. It can be critical, harsh, and limiting. But the good news is, you can change the narrative. You can train your mind to speak to you in a way that serves your best self. When you catch yourself thinking negatively or doubting your abilities, replace those thoughts with positive, affirming ones. Remind yourself of your strengths, your past successes, and your potential. The more you practice positive self-talk, the more it becomes your default mode of thinking. You also need to recognize that not all thoughts are equal. Some thoughts are simply noise, distractions that have no value in your life. They don't serve you, and they don't help you grow. These are the thoughts you need to let go of. When you find yourself thinking thoughts that don't serve your best self, make a conscious decision to release them. Don't let them take up space in your mind. Replace them with thoughts that empower you, that align with your goals and your values. Directing your thoughts to serve your best self is a daily practice. It's not something that happens overnight, but the more you commit to it, the more natural it becomes. The more you train your mind to focus on what serves you, the easier it becomes to stay positive, motivated, and focused on your goals. Your thoughts become your greatest ally, and as a result, you create a life that reflects your highest potential. Remember, the quality of your life is a reflection of the quality of your thoughts. If you want to live a life of purpose, success, and happiness, you must direct your thoughts to serve your best self. It's a simple but powerful choice that can transform your life. So, take control of your thoughts today. Choose to focus on what empowers you. Choose to direct your mind toward growth, positivity, and opportunity. Your best self is waiting for you, and it all begins with your thoughts. Number 9. Feed your mind with only strong daily input. Feeding your mind with only strong daily input is a decision that will transform your life. Your mind is the most valuable asset you have, and what you feed it determines the quality of your thoughts, decisions, and actions. We live in an age where information is everywhere, and much of it is either trivial, negative, or distracting. If you're not careful about the input you allow into your mind, you will be shaped by things that don't contribute to your growth, success, or happiness. To truly build a life of value, you must become intentional about what you expose your mind to every single day. Think about your mind as a garden. Just like a garden thrives when it's fed with healthy, nourishing soil, your mind thrives when it is fed with strong, positive, and empowering input. If you expose your mind to negative, shallow, or mindless information, you're essentially planting weeds in that garden. These weeds will choke the growth of your potential, creativity, and peace of mind. But when you feed your mind with knowledge, inspiration, and ideas that elevate you, you nurture your capacity to grow, to innovate, and to reach new heights. The input you allow into your mind directly affects your emotional state. If you fill your mind with negativity, whether through news, social media, or toxic conversations, your emotions will follow. You'll feel anxious, frustrated, and overwhelmed. But when you consciously choose to fill your mind with positive, uplifting, and empowering material, your emotions shift in a more positive direction. You feel more energized, motivated, and focused. This shift doesn't just happen by accident. It happens because you are being intentional about what you allow to influence your mindset. You must ask yourself every day, what am I feeding my mind? Are the books I read, the podcasts I listen to, and the conversations I have pushing me closer to my goals, or are they keeping me stuck? Are the people around me encouraging me to grow, or are they distracting me from my true potential? The answers to these questions will shape the direction of your life. The input you allow into your mind is like fuel. Choose the fuel that will propel you forward, not the one that will hold you back. One of the most powerful ways to feed your mind is through reading. The books you choose to read have the potential to expand your thinking, open your eyes to new possibilities, and ignite your creativity. Reading books by people who have achieved what you want to achieve will show you what's possible and teach you the strategies needed to succeed. These books can become your mentors, offering wisdom and insight to help guide you on your journey. But be selective about the books you read. Choose books that challenge your thinking, inspire you to take action, and provide valuable lessons. In addition to reading, the podcasts, audio programs, and online courses you listen to play a huge role in feeding your mind. Think about the time you spend each day commuting, exercising, or even cleaning your home. These moments can be turned into opportunities to feed your mind with strong, positive input. Instead of listening to mindless entertainment or negative news, you can be listening to material that builds your skills, teaches you new concepts, or inspires you to take action. Every minute of your day is a choice. You can choose to fill it with things that add no value to your life, or you can use that time to grow and expand your knowledge. Feeding your mind with strong input isn't just about consuming content, it's also about the conversations you have with others. Surround yourself with people who are committed to growth, success, and positivity. The people you spend the most time with will either elevate you or bring you down. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, gossip, and complaints, your mind will absorb that energy, and you'll find it harder to stay focused on your goals. But when you surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and encourage you to be your best self, you create an environment that supports your growth. These conversations act as fuel for your mind, keeping you sharp, motivated, and aligned with your highest potential. It's also important to feed your mind with strong, positive affirmations. The language you use with yourself has an incredible impact on how you perceive the world and yourself. If you constantly speak to yourself in negative terms, doubting your abilities, or focusing on your flaws, your mind will adopt those beliefs as truth. But when you replace negative self-talk with affirmations that focus on your strengths, your potential, and your worth, you begin to reshape the way you view yourself and the world around you. Each day, take a few moments to speak positive, affirming words over yourself. Repeat them until you truly believe them. Your mind will begin to accept these affirmations as reality, and you will see yourself moving closer to the person you aspire to be. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, television, and the constant stream of information can easily pull you away from your goals. But it's important to recognize that not all information is valuable. Just because something is available doesn't mean it's worth your attention. It's easy to get sucked into endless scrolling, watching videos that offer no value, or engaging in conversations that drain your energy. You must become intentional about how you spend your time. If you want to feed your mind with strong input, you need to guard it against the distractions that don't serve your best interests. Limit your time on social media, avoid engaging in negative conversations, and create space for the activities that truly support your growth. You also need to be mindful of the news you consume. In many cases, the news is filled with negativity and sensationalism. While it's important to stay informed, it's equally important not to allow the news to dominate your mind. Constant exposure to negativity can make you feel helpless, anxious, and fearful. Instead of focusing on everything that's wrong with the world, shift your attention to what's going right. There's always something positive happening, but it requires you to look for it intentionally.
Feed your mind with stories of success, progress, and hope. This will not only lift your spirit but also encourage you to take action in your own life. Feeding your mind with strong daily input also means taking care of your mental health. Stress, anxiety, and burnout can block your ability to absorb and process positive information. You need to make sure that your mental health is a priority. This means taking time to relax, meditate, exercise, and do things that nourish your mind and body. When you're mentally and physically healthy, you are more open to receiving positive input and using it to drive your success. The practice of feeding your mind with strong daily input isn't just about consuming content, it's about creating a mindset that thrives on growth, positivity, and possibility. It's about surrounding yourself with people, experiences, and information that will push you forward, not hold you back. The more intentional you are about what you feed your mind, the more you will begin to see the transformation in your life. Your thoughts will become clearer, your goals will become sharper, and your actions will become more focused and aligned with your vision for success. So choose to feed your mind every day with the input that serves your best self. The more you do this, the more you will see the incredible power of your own mind and the positive changes that come with it. The decision is yours. What you allow into your mind today will shape your tomorrow. Make it strong, empowering, and transformative. Your future self will thank you for it.
Number 10. Command your focus to create your future today. Commanding your focus to create your future today is one of the most powerful decisions you can make for your life. Focus is the key to everything. It is the foundation of achievement. Without focus, you can have all the talent, knowledge, and drive in the world, but your energy will be scattered and your potential will remain untapped. To create the life you desire, you must master the art of focus and learn how to direct your attention with precision toward the goals and outcomes that matter most. Every day you are faced with countless distractions. Your phone pings, people call, social media pulls you in, and the noise of the world tries to demand your attention. It's easy to let all these distractions hijack your focus and divert you from what truly matters. But the truth is, where your focus goes, your energy flows. If you let distractions rule your day, you'll find yourself overwhelmed, unproductive, and frustrated. But when you command your focus, you take back control of your time, your energy, and your life. The first step to commanding your focus is to clearly define what you want. When you don't have a clear vision, your focus becomes diluted. You'll chase after every shiny object that comes your way, hoping it will bring you the success or happiness you're looking for. But when you define what truly matters to you, whether it's building a business, improving your health, or strengthening relationships, you create a clear target. And with a target in place, your focus can zero in on the steps you need to take to achieve it. Once you've identified your goal, it's important to keep your focus sharp. This means resisting the temptation to chase after other goals or distractions that may come along. There will always be other things competing for your attention, but if you let them steal your focus, you'll never reach the goal you've set. Discipline is the key. You must commit to staying focused on what matters and ignore the distractions that could derail you. To command your focus effectively, you must also practice the art of saying no. Saying no to distractions, saying no to things that don't align with your goals, and saying no to people or situations that pull you off course is essential. Your time and energy are limited resources. You can't afford to waste them on things that won't move you closer to your desired outcome. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve your vision, you're saying no to your future. Another critical component of commanding your focus is learning to prioritize. Not everything is equally important. If you try to do everything, you'll end up doing nothing well. Take a step back and ask yourself, what is the most important thing I can do today to move closer to my goal? What action will have the greatest impact? When you identify these high-impact tasks, your focus will naturally gravitate toward them. By prioritizing the most important actions, you make sure your time and energy are invested in what will bring you the greatest return. To keep your focus sharp, you also need to eliminate distractions. Take an honest look at your environment. Are there things in your space that are pulling your attention away from your work? Is your phone constantly buzzing with notifications? Are you spending too much time on social media? You need to take control of your environment. Create a space that supports your focus. This may mean turning off notifications organizing your workspace, or creating specific times in your day for deep work. The less you allow outside distractions to creep in, the more powerful your focus will become. It's also important to recognize that focus requires energy. You cannot maintain laser-like focus if you're drained or exhausted. Your body and mind need to be in peak condition for focus to be at its best. Make sure you're taking care of yourself physically by getting enough sleep, eating well, and exercising regularly. When you take care of your health, your mind becomes sharper, your energy increases, and your focus becomes more powerful. One of the best ways to strengthen your focus is through practice. Focus is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Start small. Set aside periods of time each day where you dedicate yourself to one task with no interruptions. Begin with just 15 or 30 minutes and gradually increase the duration. The key is consistency. Over time, you'll build the mental stamina necessary to stay focused for longer periods, and you'll notice that you're getting more done in less time. Another powerful strategy to command your focus is to visualize your future. Imagine what your life will look like once you've achieved your goal. Visualize yourself living your best life. Picture the success, the happiness, and the fulfillment you'll experience. When you create a vivid image of your future, it becomes easier to stay focused on the actions required to make that vision a reality. Visualization gives you a sense of purpose and direction. It serves as a constant reminder of why your focus matters. Additionally, accountability is a critical factor in maintaining focus. When you commit to something publicly or share your goals with someone who holds you accountable, you're more likely to stay on track. Find a mentor, a coach, or even a friend who can check in with you and ensure that you're staying focused on the right things. Knowing that someone else is watching and rooting for you helps keep your focus strong, and it gives you the motivation to keep pushing forward even when things get tough. The ability to focus also means being able to ignore short-term gratification in favor of long-term success. It's easy to give in to the urge to check your phone, watch a YouTube video, or scroll through social media. But these distractions are often short-term pleasures that steal your focus and prevent you from making progress toward your goals. Instead of giving in to immediate gratification, remind yourself that the reward for staying focused will be far greater in the future. Stay committed to the process and trust that your focused effort will pay off. Commanding your focus means taking full responsibility for how you spend your time and energy. You cannot afford to let your focus wander or allow yourself to be distracted by things that don't move you forward. It requires intentional effort, discipline, and consistency. You must make the decision every day to focus on the things that truly matter and move you closer to your goals. The moment you give your focus the power it deserves, you'll begin to create the future you've always dreamed of. Remember, your future is created by what you focus on today. You have the power to shape your destiny by choosing where you direct your attention. The world is full of distractions, but if you learn to command your focus, you will rise above them. Take control of your focus and use it as a tool to create the life you desire. The future is in your hands, and it starts with the focus you choose right now.